The Toronto Raptors are relatively unpredictable. They fired their president. They didn't tank when everyone thought they should tank. They did tank when people thought maybe they shouldn't tank. This is a team that is constantly keeping you on your toes. But if there's one thing that I know about the Toronto Raptors, the draft comes around and there's a player who is compared to Draymond Green, that player is probably going to become a Toronto Raptor. And while I have very much consistently railed against this insistence by draft analysts and fans to compare Scotty Barnes to Draymond Green, and please understand I'm not backing off that stance, I think today would be a great opportunity to get into a real deep dive into why the Raptors have consistently invested, double down, triple down, in fact, with 3 years of draft picks in the last 4 years into this archetype. Now, this extends from a conversation that we had on Player's Choice today about positions being largely dead, and Chill lost his mind. And Mars was talking about positions and archetypes. And I personally don't really believe in basketball positions. I believe it's five guys. And the more of those five guys can dribble, pass, and shoot, the better. But maybe we need to change shoot to score, dribble, pass, and score. Can you find a way to score on the basketball court? And so I want to talk about really this fit between Scotty Barnes, Colin Murray Boyles, and also Jonathan Mobo, or as Trickstar has eloquently put it, Colin Mobo Barnes. What is it, man? Why do we keep investing in this archetype? Why not invest in the Kobe archetype or the Kevin Durant archetype? Well, we're going to look at some film on what Draymond does for people who are maybe just not clued into Draymond, because Draymond does a lot of wicked awesome stuff away from the basketball. We're going to talk about this archetype. What the hell is Draymond Green? He is a point center forward. He is the epitome of positional versatility in the NBA. He is a defender who is pretty much revolutionizing what it means to be versatile. He is a guy who can guard 1 through 5. He is a guy who is great as a rebounder. What does this archetype do for your basketball team? And why do so many teams that win have a Draymond type? I want to guide you into what a Draymond type even is. Okay. A player who is not a great shooter. I don't want to say a non-shooter. I mean, not a great shooter. Jimmy Butler counts. Aaron Gordon counts. A player who does not space the floor ideally like a Klay Thompson or a Steph Curry. Well, I mean, those are extreme examples. A player who does, frankly, not space the floor like a Tyler Hero. Let's use Tyler Hero as a benchmark. Jimmy Butler, that's a Draymond type. In a sense, that's a Draymond type. Aaron Gordon, that's a Draymond type. Andre Iguodala, that's a Draymond type. Maybe if you look at the original archetype of Draymond, you could look at someone like Dennis Rodman. That's a Draymond type. Why is it that these players so consistently find themselves winning championships? Why is it that positional versatility is so important? So we'll talk about that. We'll look at some Draymond film. Okay. So first, let's talk about the archetype. And please understand, do not clip me, do not aggregate me and say I'm comparing Scotty Barnes to Draymond Green or that I'm comparing Jonathan Mobo to Draymond Green. Frankly, no, I'm not. What I'm saying is this is the archetype. What is the archetype? Let's define some characteristics. Quick feet. Very important for the Draymond Green archetype is quick feet. Long arms. Also very important. Positional versatility. Super important. I'll get into why these things are important just briefly, but let's just define the archetype first. So we got quick feet, long arms, right? We got positional versatility. How about this? What about positional playmaking talent? Playmaking talent in general. High level basketball IQ. What about the off ball stuff? Are you a good cutter? Are you a good screener? Okay. Let's talk about speed. You need some speed. You want to be Draymond Green? Can't be slow. You got to be fast. You got to find your advantage. If other guys are big, you are small. This is the art of war, right? What they say? A small company can take down a big company because they are cumbersome and large, and you are small and mobile. Basketball is the art of war, and Draymond Green is the perfect example of how you beat the stereotype. Now, Draymond Green fell to the second round. Jonathan Mobile fell to the second round. A lot of people didn't think Scotty Barnes was a top 5 pick in his draft class. And frankly, probably still don't think he's a top 5 pick in his draft class. This archetype is consistently underrated. Consistently slept on, consistently misunderstood. Why? It's not sexy. It's not a sexy archetype. It's not a tween, bust your ass, for 50 archetype. It's a do all the small things that nobody gives a shit about archetype. It is the real hoopers understand archetype. I want you to do me a favor. After this video is done, I want you to do me a real favor. Go look up Draymond Green value. Go listen to J. Kyle Mann discussing Draymond Green. Go listen to JJ Redick discussing Draymond Green. Go listen to LeBron James and Steve Nash discussing Draymond Green. Go see what the real knowers of the game are seeing in this archetype and why he was, in my opinion, the second most important player in the Warriors dynasty. By and large. They won before KD. They won after KD. They've never won without Steph. They've never won without Draymond, and they never will. What is it about this archetype that unlocks movement shooters in the way that it does? What is it about this archetype that is such a cheat code in the playoffs and so hard to scheme against? Okay, now let's talk about what all those attributes even mean. The quick feet. Well, the quick feet, I think I need to add another variable to this, which is strength. You need to be strong. You need to have those broad shoulders and a little bit of positional strength too, because you're not really going to be truly versatile if you're super skinny and you get pushed around a lot. You need to have like a solid base. Okay, so let's talk about those quick feet. It allows you to switch out from the perimeter, right? Basketball so far, right now, is being defined by pick and roll, right? We're hunting mismatches. What happened to Tyrese Halliburton is the same thing that happened to Nikola Jokic, is the same thing that happens to Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns. Everyone is just taking turns, okay? This is, the Bonnie Blue special, basically. Sorry to be crass about it, but these guys are just taking turns, hunting Miles Turner in space, Karl-Anthony Towns in space, Jalen Brunson on the block. What happens when you put a Draymond Green on the floor is it goes away. If you put Draymond Green in a ball screen, nothing happens. He switches, you have no advantage. He hedges, no advantage. There's nothing. You get nothing out of it. You get nothing out of it because if you're a guard trying to play with this dude on the perimeter, he's going to contest your shot or he's going to rear contest your shot, right? You're not getting anything out of this. So that immediately means that you need to go away from him. What about the help defense? Active hands. There comes those long arms, right? The weak side shot blocking, the gap help, all that stuff that Draymond Green does when he doesn't have the basketball and when he's not actively involved in the play. He's tipping the basketball. He's poking away things from passing lanes. He's disruptive. He's active. Those long arms and those quick feet make him unschemable defensively. You see what I mean? You can look at other players who fit this archetype. J-Dub, who I argued for very strongly on the panel today as being a top 25 player in the league, fits this archetype. The goal, everyone said that when they didn't have iHeart back in the lineup and Chet went down, that the OKC Thunder were toast. And then they started J-Dub at the 5, at 6'5", with those 7'2", wingspan. And they were able to sustain. They were able to play competitive basketball, even against the likes of Ivica Zubac. Now, again, when the casual fan sees 7-foot tall guy against a 6'5" guy, you think that it's supposed to be an easy matchup, but you don't factor in the strength, the length, and all the things that really factor into that, right? When you think about Aaron Gordon, what makes him so special? It's the same stuff. You really can't hunt him. There's nothing about him that you can really hunt. And within the team defense, he is invaluable because, again, he provides what Draymond provides, the weak side shot blocking. So we covered a lot of defense here. What about offense? Because none of these guys are respected shooters. But unlike Ben Simmons, they're willing shooters. They're guys who are willing to take the open shot, right? They do the right things. ball moves faster. The ball moves faster than your feet, or the ball moves faster than you. That we've heard that before, right? The the best thing you can do is quick hitters in transition. Pass the ball up, get off the ball quickly, make quick decisions. You need basketball IQ for that. You need vision for that. Draymond Green is frankly a failure of marketing, because if Draymond Green played in the 80s as a point guard with his handle and his vision and his size, maybe we talk about him a little bit like Magic Johnson. Again, it takes a lot to be the second best player on a championship team. It takes a lot to be the second best player on multiple championship teams. And that's really what Draymond has been. He has been the second most important part of a Warriors dynasty. And that is largely due to things that often go underrated, the positional versatility. What about the portability? Well, portability is really, how many different schemes can you really fit into? Well, if you can't shoot, aren't you immediately a liability? If you're a Jonathan Mobo or a Colin Murray Boyles and you don't shoot threes and you're not really respected, aren't you immediately a liability? I think it depends on how you use your body when you don't have the basketball, how you finish, how you cut, how you run, how you match up against your guy. If you are able to out sprint your man down the court every single time, you are putting pressure. We talked about spacing in our last episode, and we said there are multiple ways to get spacing, and the most casual fan will see it as a 5-out situation. If you don't have 5 guys who can shoot on the court at the same time, you don't have spacing, which is simply not true. The Warriors are successfully able to play Draymond, Kevon Looney, and still maintain beautiful spacing. The Celtics are not the blueprint here, guys. They won one championship with 5 guys who could shoot at all times. They basically don't play guys other than Luke Cornett last year who couldn't shoot. So they were playing Al Horford. They were playing Kristaps Porzingis. They're playing 4 shooters. But what is the Celtics' real cheat code? Positional versatility. Drew Holiday can guard 1 through 4 easily, and sometimes 5. Derek White can guard 1 through 4. Jason Tatum can guard 1 through 4. This is the real cheat code. These are all little mini Draymonds in a lot of ways. Are they better than Draymond? Yeah, sure. Jason Tatum's better than Draymond Green, for sure. And I'm sure Scotty Barnes will be better than Draymond Green. He's already a much better scorer than Draymond Green. There are things that Scotty has done throughout his first 4 years that Draymond will never, ever do, couldn't even dream of. This is not to say that Scotty Barnes is Draymond Green or that, Colin Murray Boyles is Draymond Green. Colin Murray Boyles is a way better collegiate basketball player than Draymond Green was in his second year. Way better. Carrying a much worse lineup. CMB should be better than Draymond Green. Will they be better? I don't know. But he's more talented for sure. As an offensive player, he's a lot more talented. So we talked about the quick hips and the quick feet, how that helps on defense. We talked about the long arms and how that sort of helps you. We talked about the basketball IQ and, what you do with the ball and without the ball, setting screens and all that stuff. Okay, cool. What about the passing? Like really just like the processing of the court. Let's take a look at some Draymond clips. And you tell me if you see a little bit of Jonathan Mobo, a little bit of Scotty Barnes, and a little bit of Colin Murray Boyles in some of these clips. Take a look here. Okay. So here, right? Boom. Gone. Right? Long arms. Good basketball IQ. That's all it is. Long arms, quick feet, speed, basketball IQ. Now here, look at Draymond Green at the bottom of your screen, right? What's he going to do here? He's reading this entire thing. He's reading the gap. Now, there's a defender behind him. Sorry, there's an offensive player behind him and a wide open 3 if he misses this. Successfully closes out, blocks the shot. You can't do that without a 7'2" wingspan. You can't do that without some foot speed. And here comes. Knowing right away that you had to run, that's basketball IQ. Draymond is simply outthinking his opponents. And I believe that Scotty Barnes, Jonathan Mobo, and to some extent also Colin Murray Boyles have extremely high feel for their archetype. And that's what makes them Draymond like. They're able to do this all the time. You know what that basket had in common with some of the greatest 2-point baskets? They're all worth 2 points. It doesn't really matter how you get the 2 points to me that much. It matters that you got those 2 points. And that's not 2 points that you're going to be able to stop. because he is able to move into spaces that are vacated. Now, this is not all going to be a transition highlight for sure. We're going to see some half court stuff. Here's some half court. Boom. Steph Curry, pass to Draymond. How long do you think he needs to make a decision on what to do? What we do when we did the Colin Murray Boyles highlight, when we were looking at the Colin Murray Boyles film, he makes quick decisions and he makes good decisions all the time. Colin Murray Boyles does not hold on to the basketball very long. Colin Murray Boyles does not attack a completely packed paint and then force up some stupid ass fadeaway. This is what y'all don't get about, I don't know if Ace Bailey is going to be a great basketball player. I have no idea. But what I will tell you is Colin Murray Boyles has a much safer floor as a basketball player for this exact reason. Look at how quickly he made his mind up about what he was going to do against this defense. And again, it was completely based on how they are playing it. That matchup, which is Andre Drummond on the perimeter, ain't stopping him. That defender, which is George Niang, I believe, ain't close enough and is not a shot blocker. Draymond processed all of this information right away. Guess what? Jonathan Mobo and Colin Murray Boyles can do the same thing. And so can Scotty Barnes. Matisse Thybulle, that's the only guy who was going to be able to stop you in this situation, and he's out of the play. Here, Draymond in transition, right? Draymond holding the ball. Squint your eyes. Is that Magic Johnson or is that Draymond Green? Same shit, man. Okay, here, Al Horford. What do you see on the court right now? Test your own basketball IQ. What do you see on the court right now? I see a wide open paint. If I can beat Al Horford off the dribble, and I'm quicker than a damn near 38-year-old, 37-year-old Al Horford. But I also see Robert Williams looking at me. So there's a couple things that are quickly emerging, right? There's Steph Curry over there. He could potentially use this trailer screen. There is potentially Robert Williams losing his man and his man simply beating him down the court, and then for me to slip that pass through the middle, or there's me beating Al Horford off the dribble. Now, I have no idea how Draymond plays this out, but I have a feeling it's going to be a great decision. Slow down. Wait for the mistake. What's the mistake? The mistake is Robert Williams paying way too much attention to Andrew Wiggins and losing his own man. It's fractions of a second, yo. It's fractions of a second. It's right here. Easy pass from there on out. Don't make up your mind before the play, though. Don't make up your mind before the defense shows their weakness. Guaranteed he makes this pass. How many times have we see Colin Murray Boyles make this pass for South Carolina, bro? So tell me, is that 2 points or is that 2 points? That's 2 points. Robert Williams makes a split-second mistake. Draymond Green's like, bet. Kevon Looney, easy 2. Right? Does it matter that he didn't tween before he did that? Does it matter that this is not a fucking highlight play or a slam dunk? No, it doesn't. Look at Draymond communicating to Klay Thompson. Where do you got to go? Where you got to go? Draymond, perfect pace. Set the screen here. Okay. Now, slow-footed big. What's going to happen here? Speed once again comes into question, right? Draymond is faster than the big who is switching. What's going to happen here? Draymond catches this defender flat-footed. Colin Murray Boyles did this all the time. Guaranteed. This is a dunk. I have not watched these plays, y'all. I have not watched these plays. I'm going to just tell you how I think it's going to go down. Cut into open space, man. Bruce Brown literally got $20 million doing this shit. Basketball IQ. It's not that complicated. Okay, here we go. Marcus Smart hounding the basketball, perhaps overplaying a non-shooter this far away. What's the play? What's the play, y'all? You see the court. You see the court. Draymond sees the court. What's the play? Easy pass right there. Boom. Klay Thompson. Right? We don't value playmaking enough. We should. Okay. Here, a defensive highlight. Blows this right up, right? Strips it away. See ya. Peace out. That's Damian Lillard. Does not matter. Easy. But look at how quickly this transition comes from defense to offense. Now, none of this can happen without the quick hands, the long arms, the quick feet, And none of this can happen without that court processing. Look at how quickly he makes this decision. Okay, he's got the ball, right? Now, again, this is slowed down. One dribble, two dribble, gone. Perfect to Steph Curry. Okay, now we're on offense again. Draymond waits for the mistake. Backdoor cut. Boom. Blocks the shot. There comes those long arms again, right? Peace out. Zaza gets the ball. Okay, here. Half court set. Pass it to, okay. What's the right move here? I believe this is from the finals. Kevin Love is guarding him. LeBron James is worried about Steph Curry. This is the gravity that we talk about. Now, you don't have Steph Curry and you don't have Klay Thompson. Do you have players who kind of try to play like Steph Curry and Klay Thompson? Yeah, sure. You have plenty of those guys. Jacoby Walter, Grady Dick, Brandon Ingram. Well, Brandon Ingram more like KD archetype anyways. Emmanuel Quickly. You do have movement shooters, right? Look at this. Simple. Cut to Draymond. He sees the mistake. You lose him. He cuts into space. There's enough smart basketball players out there that will find him. Defense, offense, defense, offense. Where's Draymond Green? He's the low man here, right? He sees everything. Oh, believe me, he sees the guy right behind him. Okay. Box out. How quickly is this decision going to be made? How quickly is he about to make this decision? Boom. This ability to grab it and go. Something that Jonathan Mobo, Scotty Barnes, and Colin Murray-Boyles all have. Okay. Now, force the mistake. Wait for the mistake. Wait for the mistake. There's the mistake. Right there. Right there. Gary Payton Jr. beats his man. It's going to be a pass. I'll guarantee it. Boom. Yep. 100%. It's a pass. This is not complicated. This is basketball 101. They should be teaching kids how to play basketball like this. They don't. Okay. They do in Europe, but they don't here. Okay. Boom. Screen. What's the move? Cut. Wait for the commitment. Rim protector gets back into place. Give it to number 5. Boom. I have not watched this. I promise you, God is my witness. I have not watched these plays. I know exactly what he's going to do because he has the right mind for this, man. He has the right mind for this. Give me a W if you remember me breaking down Fred VanVleet's basketball IQ and some of these fucking plays and just giving him an X on everything. Failing game. Fail grade every single time that he missed Scotty Barnes on these plays. First of all, it's not necessarily Fred's fault either. He is a 6'4" point guard. He can't make the plays that Draymond Green can make, which is where it comes to positional size, right? Okay, here we go. Now, Draymond's not a shooter. Jokic knows that, right? He's not going to guard him. He's going to abandon him. Hey, if Draymond could shoot, he would be a top 10 player in the league. He can't, so he's not by most people's estimates. But I would argue he's had top 10 impact for years in the NBA. But take a look at what he does here. Set the screen. Solid screen setting is very underrated. And now what happens again? Slow-footed big, Nikola Jokic, over great shooter coming off a screen here, getting clipped on that screen. So what's going to happen? It's going to unlock an angle. I have not seen this play, but I will almost guarantee you he is rolling right past Jokic. Let's see it. Yeah, there you go. Fucking hell, man. I'm waiting to be wrong. I'm waiting to be wrong on one of these. Let's read and react basketball. Okay, here we go. What's the play? I'm waiting for them. I'm waiting to see what he sees. Let's see. I'm going to pause it when I see something. I don't see it yet. I don't see it yet. I don't see it yet. Okay. We're going to give Steph the ball. Yup. We're going to set the screen. Yup. Roll. There you go. Open paint. Yep. Open paint. Dunk that shit. You just wait. You wait for the defense to make a mistake. Boom. Okay. Let's see here. Draymond trailing the play here. They're going to pass out to Draymond, which is great. What's he going to do here? Go right into the paint and finish this. Yep. Perfect. Defense preoccupied. Jonas Valanciunas, not a great shot blocker. Go inside. There's no one there. And he scans this shit in a millisecond. That's the superpower. Block this. Run. Run. Right here. Run. Boom. Dunk this. Easy. Easy play. Okay. Defensive play. Another fast break. Boom. He does not wait. You don't see him doing that little slow pound up the ball, up the floor, waiting to get pressured. No, push it. Push it. Earliest place to, better yet, pass it. He saw this. Boom. I think that's Juan Toscano Anderson. Or no, it's not. My bad. Easy. Easy pass. Okay. Here comes some defensive impact here. Block this. Keep it in play. Chris Paul. Physics. Block that shot. I guarantee you see Colin Murray-Boyles do this at least 4 times this year. Guaranteed. Okay, here we go. James Harden, dynamic ball handler, right? No problem. Your center got him. Your center's got him because he's got those quick hips. He's got those quick feet. He's got those long arms. He understands angles. So he can guard James Harden. He can do that. That is a gift. Okay? Gets pumped. He gets bumped off his spot. Draymond, a little bit chicken wing there. He gets away with it. James Harden gets away with murder on this one. What's he going to do? Block it from behind. Guaranteed. Yup. He doesn't miss this. He doesn't miss this. Boom. Get off balance. Relentless motor. I'll also guarantee you Colin Murray-Boyles is doing this a couple times this year too. Okay. Let's see here. What's the right play, y'all? What's the right play when 2 go to the ball and your man completely miscommunicates the backdoor? Boom. Cut. Perfect. High IQ play by Steph, but also high IQ play by Draymond. Stays in place. Basketball is simple, right? We talked about gap theory. Quick hands, right? Boom. Quick hands, length. Psst. Paint's wide open, man. Paint is wide open. Boom. Block it. No waiting. My man is behind the play. I run. If I run, I get an open dunk, right? How often have you seen Scotty Barnes do this? It helps to have an Andre Iguodala there. What I say, Andre Iguodala, Draymond Green, Jimmy Butler. This is the archetype. Big playmaker, defensive versatility, quick feet, long arms. Very valuable archetype, but very slept on archetype. Okay, let's see here. Kevin Durant, guarding up here. Draymond, poke. Boom. This shit. Are we watching Colin Murray-Boyles highlights? This is the Colin Murray-Boyles Scotty Barnes special. How many times have we seen these guys do this? They do this shit all the time. Okay, pass to Draymond here. Boom. Go to the basket. Boom. Your man's on your hip. Perfect. Easy. Easy basketball play. You don't need to overcomplicate this. Steph Curry not even on the court creating space for Draymond. Draymond is so much more than a Steph Curry merchant, man. You just give him any movement shooter, he will make them deadly. Okay. And this time, trailing the play. Back. Able to basically be in two positions at once and then able to block the shot. So excited. So pumped, right? Do you know how hard that is to do? I can honestly think of like 3 to 4 players in the last 10 years who could have made that play. LeBron is one of them. Draymond is one of them. Maybe Ben Simmons. I can't think of the fourth row. Scotty Barnes is a type. Boom. Block this. Get that garbage out of here, man. As my man Jack Armstrong would say, get that shit out of here. Boom. That's Damian Lillard. Giannis, too. Yeah, I'll give you that. Giannis, Iguodala. Yeah, those guys. Here we go. Block this too. The value of positional versatility, the value of quick feet, the value of long arms. This is the archetype, right? Okay. Offense again. What is Draymond going to do here? Set the screen? Yup. Set the screen. Set a hard screen. Force. Run. Okay. Nope. Paint is congested. We see it, right? The paint is congested. What's he going to do now? Oh my goodness. End the clock situation. Well, that was on nobody's bingo card. But hey, there's 4 seconds left. You might not get a better shot than that. Look at this. He sees exactly where this is going. He's going to block this shot. I can almost guarantee it. Boom. There you go. Block. Okay, now what's the play? What's the play? You got a guy cutting off your position here, right? What is the play? Force the double team. Okay, here's what I would do. I'm assuming this is what he's going to do. Force the double team behind the back pass to the guy behind Kevin Love. Is that accurate? Oh, I have made a mistake. It's to Klay Thompson in the corner. My bad. He made a better decision. I wasn't looking at Klay Thompson. My bad. Oh, freeze the defense. Klay Thompson cuts the corner. Boom. My bad. Okay. This time guarding Nikola Jokic. Give me a W if you've seen Scotty Barnes guard Nikola Jokic. We have seen that. Okay. No problem. Five inches, no problem. Poke it away. Great ball handler, Nikola Jokic. Great ball handler. 7'2" wingspan, right? That's what Scotty can do. That's what Colin Murray-Boyles can do. That's what Jonathan Mobo can do. Those gigantic hands. Both Scotty and Colin Murray-Boyles have the same size hands. Did you know that? Length 10.25. Same size hands. You have 4 players, I believe, on your roster right now, including Jakob Poeltl, by the way, who have 10.25 as their hand width. Big hands, long arms, quick feet. That's what you want. You know why? Because big hands help with that. Boom. Offensive rebounding, tipping passes away, deflections. Draymond is hype. Okay. Now, Draymond operating in the post. Okay. Iguodala going to set a screen for Klay. Gets clipped. Defense sort of makes a mistake here. J.R. Smith is a terrible defender. Peace out. Draymond Green is hype. Exploit it. Wait for the defender to focus on the other thing. There is a there's a quote that I want to bring up to y'all here before we take a momentary brief from the film breakdown. Stir the water to catch the fish. Have you heard this quote? When you stir the water, the fish becomes somewhat panicked, right? If you're in a fishbowl, I'm not suggesting you try this, but I promise you it works. Stir the water a little bit. You catch the fish. You can catch it. It's the same thing with offense in basketball. You create enough movement, enough distractions, enough off ball screens, enough guys coming off of screens, you will find that your defender will momentarily turn his head. Boom, attack. It's not that complicated. Let's keep going. Okay. No lag. There's no precious Achua moment of what am I supposed to do here? Instinctual basketball. What's the play? Pass right over the defense. Your dude is 6 inches up, 6 feet ahead of his defender. And this defender is waiting and totally misreading this play, by the way. Totally misleading this play. However, when you have a 2-on-1, the last thing you need to do is dribble. This is not what you need to do, right? So the only thing that you need to do here is you let this dude get behind the defender, pass right over him. Boom. Perfect. Guides him right into it. Andre Iguodala decided to be unselfish as hell. He probably should have taken that dunk, if I'm being honest. They were just showboating here. He really didn't need to do that. Andre Iguodala had a wide open dunk. Okay, let's see here. Draymond finds himself wide open again. How is Draymond always so wide open? They found him late. He waited 2 seconds in the paint, and the Heat just didn't see him. Too much Draymond footage. Nobody wants to watch him. Well, unfortunately, Vegan Grass, we watching Draymond Green highlights because I'm a basketball nerd, and I hope that you can appreciate Draymond Green because he does things away from the basketball and these sort of timely decisions that really go unnoticed by the casual fan. Like here, here's Kyle Lowry. He has a break. He thinks he's wide open. I guarantee there's going to be a block. Yup. And this was, I believe, this was the championship game or the championship series. So it's just moments like this where you imagine yourself, like, could Jonathan Mobo or Colin Murray Boyles or Scotty Barnes do that exact play? Yeah, all the time. Okay, here now, this in some people's opinion, the greatest player ever coming downhill, 1-on-1, no help, no help. I mean, there's backside rotation there, so there is some help coming. Here comes Draymond Green. Boom, blocks it. Weak side shot blocking, right? Andre Iguodala had his man. Good defender. Draymond Green decides, I'm going to block this shot. Boom. Yeah, Vegan Grass, we're not discussing who Draymond Green is as a person because I don't know him and you don't know him. I'm talking about him as a basketball player and why the Raptors seem so invested in this archetype. Now, can this archetype work together? I think it depends. If they're all exactly like Draymond, then they probably just get in each other's way. Too much of a good thing is a bad thing. But let's not forget, Colin Murray Boyles is not Draymond Green. I think that two of the hallmarks of Draymond Green is that Draymond Green is not a good shooter. So, like Colin Murray Boyles, he's not a good outside shooter, but he's also not the greatest finisher inside, right? The truth is, Colin Murray Boyles is a great finisher inside. So far in his career, granted, we don't know how it's going to scale up to the NBA. He's been a great finisher inside. Scotty Barnes has evolved as a mid-range scorer. So we're really past Scotty Barnes as the next Draymond Green, and we're really moving on to something else. But it doesn't mean he can't do some of the same stuff that Draymond Green does. And nothing that Draymond Green did in these clips goes away if he can shoot a three. In fact, if he could shoot a three, as I mentioned before, he really would be a top 10 player. He might have been a top 5 player. Because really, what's the gap between him and Scottie Pippen or him and LeBron James other than really scoring? He was a better defender than LeBron James. He really was. He's the most valuable defender. At one point, I would argue Draymond Green is the most valuable defender in the NBA for a pretty sizable stretch. He was a cornerstone of a championship defense. He was the anchor. We talk about Ben Wallace so much. Y'all realize Ben Wallace is not a better defender than Draymond Green. I don't think so. I watched a lot of Big Ben back in the day. He's not a better defender than Draymond Green. Draymond Green is, as I said earlier in the episode, unschemable. You can't do anything to pick on this guy. You can't put a big on him because he's too strong. You can't put a small on him because he's too quick. Okay, now the question becomes, can you play three of these guys together? Well, if one of them can shoot from the corner, Scotty Barnes, then yeah, you can, actually. Maybe you don't want to play all three of them together until Colin Murray Boyles can shoot. But what if Jonathan Mobo does become a Lou Dort-esque shooter, right? What if? What if? Big what if? Fine. But what if? You know, it's interesting. We talk about OKC, and I've talked about extensively how the Raptors have sort of tried to lift the OKC blueprint. But you know what OKC lacks in some of their wings, specifically Alex Caruso, Lou Dort, Casey Wallace? None of them are great playmakers. Cason's all right. Alex Caruso's all right. Lou Dort, not really. AJ Mitchell, not really. Wiggins, not really. Isaiah Joe, not really. The Raptors have a lot more playmaking talent than the OKC Thunder. And now they have this multi-positional. They really have. If you want to include RJ Barrett, at least in the offensive scheme of this, they have 5 players who are 6'6" or above who can catch it and run a break. What does that mean for you? I'm talking these 3, but I'm also talking Brandon Ingram, and I'm also talking RJ Barrett. So it's 5 players that are above the 6'6" height limit of jumbo creator. That's what Cade Cunningham is, right? 6'6". See over the defense, can generate advantages that way. And all 5 of them have a path to score. The furthest away from this is probably Jonathan Mobo, but Colin Murray get downhill. RJ Barrett get downhill, can shoot a little bit. Brandon Ingram, obviously an elite 3-level scorer. Scotty Barnes, budding as a 2-level scorer who can potentially go out to 3 levels. So you really don't have one Draymond Green on this team. The closest thing to Draymond Green you might actually have is Jonathan Mobo. These other 2 guys are like Draymond Green plus, at least offensively. When you consider even the value of a Pascal Siakam, consider the Raptors championship roster. OG Anunoby, granted he didn't play. Pascal Siakam. Isn't Pascal Siakam a Draymond Green archetype? He really is, isn't he? Multi-positional, good cutter, good off-ball tendencies, quick feet, long arms. This is the real Vision 6'9". It's a field of Draymond Greens. So this is why the Raptors keep investing in this archetype. And this is why this archetype is consistently available. There's this thing you say about market inefficiencies, right? Everybody wants the tween merchant. Everybody wants the 25-point per game jumbo guard creator. Everybody wants the guy who has a silky smooth offensive game and can shoot buckets from 28 feet. You know what people almost always overlook? The guy who does all the little things. That's why Kyle Lowry wasn't a lottery pick. That's why Colin Murray Boyles was almost not a lottery pick if the Raptors don't pick him up. That's why Jonathan Mobo was not a lottery pick. But I talked to a draft analyst around the draft last year, and he said Colin Murray Boyles will be he said Jonathan Mobo will be a top 10 player in this draft class. Mark my words. And I was like, how are you so sure? And he just broke it down with this formula. He started going through the things that matter on a basketball court. Speed. Speed matters. I don't care where you play in basketball. Europe, Rec League, LA Fitness, doesn't matter. Speed's a killer. Length, hips, your hip flexibility, your switchability, your how quickly you switch your hips, your foot speed, your vert, your strength, right? Your motor. These things, they don't show up. They're not sexy. They don't look like Jalen Green. They don't look like Cam Whitmore. They don't look like 28 points on the box score, but they count. They count a lot. And when I look at this Raptors team consistently doubling down and now tripling down on this player archetype, what I'm thinking is good luck to the offense that tries to scheme this team. Who can you pick on? Who can you pick on? Have you ever seen I'm going to ask you a question. Have you ever seen an offense try to pick on Scotty Barnes? I haven't. consistently seen them try him. Everybody knows he's a good defender. Shut down Jokic, held Giannis to 11 points last year, the lowest mark of his entire season. I don't see I don't see offenses looking for him on defense. Like, oh, there's Scotty Barnes. Let's go hunt him. And you must be stupid if you do that. No, they're not doing that. I never saw an offense hunt Colin Murray Boyles last year ever. When I watched Jonathan Mobo tape in college, I never saw an offense hunt him either. These are the defenders you try to stay away from. These are the defenders that you try to uninvolve in the ball screen. You try to get away from them. So when they are on the wing, that's when you try to attack the middle. When they're on the in the middle, you go and attack the wing. I used to notice this with Otto Porter all the time. Otto Porter was one of my favorite, most underrated defenders. And I used to notice when the Raptors were playing, you can go back and watch it yourself in some of those Otto games that he did play, the few games he did play for the Raptors. You don't almost see that when he was guarding the left side of the floor, almost always the offense would go to the other side because he was so hard to get around, man. He was a huge human being. He was reasonably mobile. He was extremely intelligent. He cut down passing lanes with this huge wingspan, and he was just strong. You're not going to pick on this dude. He's just too intelligent to pick on. And Otto's career, of course, derailed by injuries, but consider, when you think about great defenders like Rudy Gobert, how often have you seen Rudy Gobert schemed out of series? I've seen it schemed out all the fucking time. All the time, right? How many times have we seen, guys like even Shea get picked on because they're not super strong. They're not super strong, so they can get picked on a little bit, right? Jalen Brunson, Tyrese Halliburton. I've even seen Pascal Siakam get picked on a little bit. But the one guy who never gets picked on defensively is Draymond Green. They never ever attack him that way. And I guarantee you're not going to pick on Scotty Barnes and Colin Murray Boyles and Jonathan Mobo either. The thing that I will say about the Raptors, and I'm noticing this, in their offseason development as I see some of the tape and stuff, there's 4 players on this team that desperately needed to get stronger. Desperately. Number 1 is Emmanuel Quickley. 100% he needs to get stronger. With the way he plays, wants to play defensively, he needed to get stronger. Number 2, Grady Dick. 100%. He attacks the rim relentlessly, can't finish, he's not strong enough to take contact. Number 3, Jacoby Walter. Very important that Jacoby Walter, with all his shiftiness and craft and tenacity on the ball and ball skills and 3-level potential shot making and point of attack defense, that if he can get a little bit stronger, it would really work wonders for his effectiveness. And I don't think that he is going to be a guy that you're really going to want to pick on. I think he can guard 3 positions as well. And then the 4th guy really is Jonathan Mobo. Now, J-Mo has good touch. He has decent touch, but he did not finish well around the rim last year. You see the broad shoulders, you see the defined muscles, and you assume that this guy is extremely strong. But you look at his lower body, and he has the lower body of a guard. And that's what makes him so fleet-footed and so quick and switchable on the perimeter. But he needs to get much stronger so he can hold weight. He needs to get heavier. He needs to get heavier without getting fat. He needs to get heavier without getting slow. He needs to build on that muscle, right? Draymond Green was kind of chubby when he was in college. He got into really good shape in the NBA, and that really changed his career. Colin Murray Boyles, I don't think he's in the greatest shape. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think he's in the greatest shape. I think he could stand to lose a little bit of weight. I think he could stand to lose a little bit of weight to get some of that mobility and burst, but he's always going to be strong. Scotty Barnes is always going to be strong. Colin Murray Boyles is always going to be strong. Jonathan Mobo can be strong. And I have a feeling that Emmanuel Quickley and Jacoby Walter, from what I've seen of them, are wiry strong. They just need to get a little bit stronger. And when these guys get a little bit stronger, it's hallelujah, man. Because with the way the league is being called, everything is super physical. People are getting away with murder on contact. They're getting to hold you and grab you and punch you and push you and all that stuff. It's really going to matter that you are strong enough to take some of those hits because they're allowing it now. And especially what we saw in the playoffs this year, this is probably why the Raptors went for Colin Murray Boyles and Elijah Martin, because they're very, very strong basketball players. They're very positionally tough basketball players. They're guys who can guard multiple positions. When you really look at how the league is trending, this is the type of player that wins you championships. It is your Jimmy Butler. It is, in theory, your Aaron Gordon, your Draymond Green. This archetype of player who can grab it and go, play make from the middle of the floor, potentially be a scoring threat as an off-ball mover. Jimmy Butler is a really good player off the ball. If you've noticed, he has been very capable of sliding into second option, third option, fourth option. Didn't really matter. Didn't really matter. When he was in Philly, on some nights, he was the third option. Sometimes he was the fourth option behind even Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris over me. Yep, that was him. He was able to scale it. Why? Because he does all the small things. Kyle Lowry, he was able to adjust from being a first option to a second option to eventually a third option. He was perfectly capable of scaling. These players like Scotty Barnes are very valuable. And while there is a tendency of casual fans to sort of crucify them for their lack of offensive pop and whatever, don't forget that they are also very special because of their malleability, because of their switchability, because of their versatility. And frankly, in the age of shot making, box score highlights, parlays, I really like guys who can screen. Anyways, I'll catch y'all later. I want to let y'all know that there was some mention in the past episode that Derek was going to be on from the Heat Check series. Derek had to reschedule today, so we decided to do this video, and we will certainly have Derek on at some point, either before the summer league or during the summer league. We will also 100% have you covered for the Raptor Summer League. I can't wait. I believe that starts on July 11th, which is a Friday against the Chicago Bulls. I can't wait. We will do a season preview. Let me know when this video goes live. What topic would you like us to cover over the next couple of days? Whatever gets the most votes, that's what we'll do. This community is for y'all. So, let's give you what you want. If you want a video breakdown on Elijah Martin and Chucky Hepburn, that's already coming your way at some point. That is definitely going to come your way. If you want a deep dive into how the Raptors can use Emmanuel Quickley or what Emmanuel Quickley does well, we can do that too. We can do a film breakdown. Personally, I've kind of missed doing film breakdowns. It's kind of fun. So, yes. Mel saying Spurs not mentioned for playoffs. Says who? I think they'll make the playoffs. I hope so. Casting, I gave up on Ochai, not gonna lie. Why? Provides a ton of positional versatility. Ochai can actually guard multiple positions. You have guys on this team who can't guard one position. I certainly wouldn't give up on Ochai. That being said, cap gymnastics, cap economics. We didn't even talk about the fact that Norman Powell got traded for a second round pick. That really puts shit into perspective, man. Teams are dumping these dudes who are like 32, 33 and are extension eligible. Like they just don't want them because they know they're going to have to overpay them and they don't want to have to be the team that does it. Norman Powell at like $28 million at the age of 35 is not fun. We have seen what teams have had to do to move off of even a Michael Porter Jr. and he's still in his 20s. So, when I was saying I don't want to pay Fred and Pascal, this is why I didn't want to pay him. Andrew saying, I'm not going to lie, I like Norm's fit in Miami. I do too. For 1 year, it's going to be a really, really great thing. But if they overpay him, if he has a career year and they pay him $30 million, I guarantee you that's going to backfire big time. What's the highest you can see the Raptors placing and the lowest? I mean, I personally don't care, but highest, 4th seed, lowest, 9th seed. CMB better be starting in Summer League. He will be. And I actually suspect that he will be extremely good in Summer League. Willem Hanchin, did you see Draymond's tweet about second apron? No, I did not. But I'm sure if he said it, it was probably very spicy, very controversial. And, I don't know. We talked about it on the panel today about the cap gymnastics and economics and how, mid-level guys are typically getting squeezed out. And while I'm not necessarily counting people's paper or saying it's right or wrong, this probably is the way it should be. It probably is. I mean, we saw years and years of guys like Alan Crabb getting paid tons of money, Timofey Mozgov getting paid tons of money, Jeremy Grant getting paid $30 million. Jeremy Grant is not worth $30 million. Sorry, he's not. Andrew Wiggins is not worth $30 million. These guys should always have been $15 to $20 million players. They are extensions. But unfortunately, because of the previous CBA, these guys were able to earn $30+ million. And now that money is being earmarked for stars. And we're seeing that if Paolo makes All NBA next year, He will be in line for a 5-year extension at $287 million. Yo, y'all may not be super thrilled about the season Scotty Barnes had last year, but I guarantee you that he did you a favor by not making All NBA last year. Mel saying Mobile must start to show improvement in scoring. I mean, he is going into his second year, and he did show scoring improvement over his previous year in collegiate basketball. Like, I think he transitioned very well. Go check where he ranked among rookies in various things. And we saw a real glimmer of hope in the last few games. We'll see. I'm really looking forward to Jonathan Mobo in Summer League. I'm really looking forward to Conor Boyles. Let's see how those two players play together. Yeah. Andrew saying our Summer League team is so fun. I'm excited. I agree with you. Honestly, some of these Summer League teams are fucking unwatchable. I'm watching the Spurs, shout outs to the Spurs, playing without, Carter Bryant and Dylan Harper. And I'm just like, shoot, I am not invested in this product at all. Right. I'm watching the Sixers team and I'm like, what am I watching? What the fuck am I watching? The Jalen Hood Shafino show? The Bronny James show with the Lakers? Dalton Connect? Now I'm way more excited for the Raptors. Bias aside, obviously, right? Vegan Grass saying Jacoby will play 3 at most, I think. I want to see Jacoby get like full run. There's so many Raptors right now that have been working so hard over the last 3-4 months, and they've been working together, and all these guys have actual reps together. A lot of these summer league rosters are basically constructed like from random guys that teams want to exhibit, and this Raptors team is coming in. Ulrich, Jacoby, Jonathan Mobo. I think Jameson Battle playing for them, if I'm not mistaken. Am I right on that one? I think he is. Jamal Shed, like James, Jacoby Walter, all these guys are very familiar with each other. And then the one guy who's a major addition, and AJ Lawson, of course, Colin Castleton, also familiar with these guys. Half your fucking rotation from last year is playing in the summer league. So yeah, you should be really good in the summer league. You should be. Grady looked out of place in summer league last year. That was awesome. He was hooping. I sincerely disagree. I don't think he was hooping at all. I really don't think that he impacts. I don't think he impacted winning that much in summer league last year. But it's funny. I also don't think the summer league is for everyone. I think guys like Ochai and Grady, guys who don't necessarily, they're just not. They're not the right players for summer league. I don't think Klay Thompson would do great in summer league either. The ball doesn't move enough. There aren't enough sets. Everyone's kind of looking to exhibit themselves. But I think Conor Boyles will certainly. I'm looking forward to the chemistry between CMB and Mobo. I'm looking forward to the growth of Ulrich to see, if there have been steps added to his game, if the jumper is looking a little bit more refined, if his ball IQ, basketball IQ. I'm looking for Jamal Shed. I'm looking at his jumper, seeing what that looks like. I'm looking at Jacoby. Is he stronger? Is he a little bit more certain with the basketball? This is going to be a brilliant summer league. Obviously, Elijah Martin, Chucky Hepburn. Yo, we got like 9 guys I want to watch in summer league. This summer league roster is actually legitimately more interesting than some actual NBA rosters. So, to me, at least. All right. I'm going to catch y'all later. Again, when this video goes live, please let me know what the next video should be. I'll very much appreciate your feedback. Thank you to all of us hanging on the panel. Actually, I got a little treat for y'all. Hang on one second. So I made a bit of a stink about this, but kind of a joke about this yesterday on X. But I got some hate mail, yo. I got some hate mail, and it was kind of funny to me. So I want to read you my hate mail because this shit is nuts. Okay. Bro, this guy unprompted hate mailed me 3 times in 1 hour. Do you know what kind of like school shooter bullshit you have to be on to persistently hate mail a dude? He don't even message you back and you just keep going. I want to read this out. Pen, can you please stop with your nonsense on player's choice? You are always talking so annoying and dumb and yapping. Please stop talking. You aren't not smart. Well, I got news for you, Xavier or Javier or whatever the fuck your name is. You aren't not smart is a double negative. How smart am I now? And thinking stats mean good. Bro, you legitimately sound like you were homeschooled by a donkey. Okay, like if you disagree with someone, just say you're wrong. If you think Jordan is good, just say has good and everyone else is hating, comma, for some random reason. Move on. You don't have to explain. This is sports. Nobody has time to listen to your ass. Pen, you are not smart. Ah, repetitive. Okay. Stop thinking that. Honestly, I stopped watching PC because you are always on there speaking things that doesn't have make sense. Please make no, like please stop yapping and beefing and getting emotional like all the other panelists know ball and are smarter than you. So then you have the right get mad. Like what? Also, the chat not hating on you. It's just because you're dumb. So stop being dumb. This is bars. Okay, let's just be real. This dude is spitting. Cook, boy. Okay, there is right takes and wrong takes. And you're always wrong takes. Like Bosch and Siakam is 100,000% better than Scotty Barnes. And Curry is 1,000% better than Shea. Please stop the nonsense. You're always yapping and don't know what's the difference between being right and wrong. And when the chat calls you out, don't listen. It's annoying. And then you are arrogant. Like Penn, please stop. Bro, I hope Ron removes you from the show. 3 minutes later, he continues, like Penn, please stop thinking you're smart. Nothing is that deep, man. Wait, why am I adding punctuation that he didn't add? Let me do it. Like Penn, please stop. You're not that oh shit. Like Penn, please stop thinking you're smart. Nothing is that deep, man. Basketball is just basketball. There's right takes and wrong takes. Every other panelist has the right takes. Every other panelist has the right takes. Are you fucking mental? I heard John Stockton is a top 3 fucking player in the league today. I've heard Chris Webber's better than Nikola Jokic. I've heard Dennis Schroeder is a better player than Derek White. And none of those things are by me. How the fuck does everyone else have the right takes? Stop thinking you're smart by overanalyze. Basketball is just a game with the right and wrong answer. You never even played ball. Well, you certainly assuming a lot based on someone that you don't even fucking know. Now, I thought this shit was over, but it was not over. These people don't stop. I blocked him after this one, but I needed some help. My brain started to freeze up. I didn't know what this dude was talking about for real. So I asked ChatGPT, okay? I asked ChatGPT to decode the third message. So we're gonna hear what ChatGPT had to say. I said, "Hello, ChatGPT. I was sent some hate mail by an individual who was likely homeschooled by a donkey. Can you please translate this message?" Question mark. ChatGPT was quick to oblige. Absolutely, I can help with that. Please upload or paste the message you'd like me to translate. I'll do my best to provide a clear, respectful interpretation of what it says, even if the original wasn't so respectful. I like how ChatGPT reads tone. ChatGPT is pretty great, even though it's terrible for the environment. So I pasted this dude, you know, he continued, by the way, like Penn, I think you just have to learn the difference between facts and a fiction. Basketball is like 0 and 1. There's always the right answer. Okay. Real hoop knowers, random apostrophe for no reason. And the other panelists know ball. They're smart and know ball, but you don't know what you're saying. You just like talking like, bro, basketball is just like a game and it's very simple. Like, bro, stop calling me bro, dummy. Okay, why do you think you're smart, Penn? You're just dumb talking about stats degree. Like, bro, if someone averaged 18 points and someone averaged 15 points, obviously 18 points is better. It's not that deep and serious. I've never said that ever. That's why I think Scotty Barnes is a better player than Cam Thomas. Dumbass. Okay. Not that deep and serious. Basketball is easy, but you don't understand it. So how can you call yourself smart? It's like Big Ox said. You're dumb, but you're just talking. You're smart because you're selfish. Okay, that's a leap. Come on, man. Like maybe I'm just an asshole. Okay, like Big Ox said, I think you're a quacker, capper, and yapper. Yo, this bars. Okay, cool. He's freestyling now. Just stop, man. Penn, stop thinking you're smarter. Nothing is that deep. You already got cooked by the chat. Gifted and Hayes and Ox and Low. Okay, just as a general rule of thumb, as someone who's written a lot, you don't need to add an and. It's just clunky. Next time, just commas. I mean, fuck, you don't know how to use commas. Just stop. You aren't smart. Basketball is simple. Okay, what? Do you understand why I needed fucking chat GPT? But you don't understand it stopped yapping. They say, don't meet your heroes, don't meet your trolls. This is crazy. Okay. So thankfully, we have ChatGPT. And ChatGPT was willing. This is madness. I agree, Barnes and Scotty. This is fucking madness. So ChatGPT was willing to do this, not without first letting me know that this content may violate our usage policies. And when I clicked on usage policies, it said that it incited violence, which I just assumed like it was violence against my eyes. But okay. So the message has been translated. Okay. So Javier, ChatGPT has done you a favor. Here is your condensed message and some tone notes for you. Penn, I think you need to learn the difference between facts and opinions. Okay. Basketball is straightforward, like binary. They decoded your 0 and 1s. Okay. There's usually a clear right answer. I'm surprised that ChatGPT decided to double up on that. The other panelists and the real basketball experts understand the game well, but it seems like you just enjoy talking without really understanding what you're saying. You see, like the inclusion of the word seems softens the blow of the insult. It's really subtle, but Javier could really take some notes here. Basketball isn't that complicated, repetitive. For example, if one player averages 18 points, the other averages 15, the 18-point average is clearly better. It's not that deep. You talk about stats and degrees. Also misunderstood ChatGPT. I have a stats degree, but that doesn't mean much if you don't grasp the basics of the game. Like Big Ox said, you come off as someone who talks a lot without substance. You've already been out debated by the chat and others like Gifted, Hayes, Ox, and Low. See, ChatGPT understands when to use and when not to use and. Stupid. Okay, maybe it's time to stop trying to sound smart and just appreciate the simplicity of basketball. Let's take a look at the notes. The notes are great, man. Use ChatGPT. Okay. Actually, I do not suggest you use ChatGPT. I'll just give you like a very brief reason why afterwards. This was purely for comedic tone. This was purely for comedy. The original message was clearly emotionally charged, dismissive, and a bit mean spirited. I'm really surprised that ChatGPT just didn't like call a helpline for this guy or a watch list. Okay. The core point seems to be a disagreement over how complex basketball analysis should be, stats versus intuition. The sender feels that, quote, Penn is overcomplicating things or coming off as condescending. Guilty as charged. Let me know if you want a humorous or satirical rewrite too. This version sticks to being a neutral translation. Oh, I should have asked for a humorous one because Lord knows there were no laughs offered here. Anyways, so what is the point? Don't use ChatGPT. Don't use ChatGPT. It's really bad for your brain, first of all. Really bad for your brain. It's good for your brain to have to work for things, especially writing. And ChatGPT it's going to blunt your brain a little bit. It's going to make you bad at things that otherwise you would have to learn to be good at. You don't want things to become too easy. So I do not suggest or advocate using ChatGPT or AI in general. However, I wanted to show you that these people are nuts. And also, maybe I wanted to give you a humorous ending to this episode, and hopefully that wasn't complete bullshit and that was sort of funny. I laughed and I did not respond. Did not respond because I value my time. I value my time, and therefore I'm not going to waste my limited time on earth responding to people like this. And, here's the thing. I've been in this content game for about 4 years. I've been writing about basketball for years and years, perhaps decades at this point. And I've always had flare ups on forums and chats and comment sections. There's always been a lot of egging and back and forth and back and forth. And then I came to realize that who am I trying to convince? Who are you trying to convince? you're not going to be able to communicate with this guy. It's not to sound condescending. It's just the truth. You don't have enough common ground to even have a conversation. So again, I go back to a rule that I started trying to employ at least a few months ago, which is I asked myself the question, what would I have to say to this person to get them to hear me out, to understand my point? And if there's nothing I can say to this person, then what point is there in turning my face blue trying to argue a point with someone who's not even willing to listen? This is a waste of time. It's a waste of time, it's a waste of energy, and it's not worth it. So ultimately, that's kind of what it comes down to. I'll tell you the truth. 5 years ago, I'll respond to this email and I'll cook this motherfucker and I'll tell him that he's an idiot and I'll correct his grammar and try to prove to him he's so stupid. He's too stupid to know he's too stupid. There's nothing to be gained here. Bingo. Bingo. Bro, I wonder if Ron got an even more unhinged message. Probably. Let this guy go. Stop. I mean, for someone who accuses me of yap, that entire email thread was yap. It was repetitive. What is yap? I tried not to yap too much on the panel today. Let me know also when this video goes live if I accomplished that. I tried to condense my thoughts down to about a minute. I tried not to talk for over a minute. Some people wrote yesterday that they were concerned that, hey, don't change too much. Please keep being yourself. You can keep being yourself and improve on things. That's perfectly normal. You don't have to keep doubling down on things that are clearly troublesome and bothering other people. If people think I'm a little bit long winded, maybe it's because I have a rhythm, an established rhythm on this show where I'm usually the only person talking, and I'm used to allowing my thoughts to flow out over a long period of sentences. And when there's six people that need to talk, I need to be a little bit quicker, right? So this was an adaptation. Also, one of the things that I was really thinking about in the week that I was off the panel was how do I deal with jabs, right? I think this has been a bit of a conflict for me where sometimes I perceive jabs to be insults and not jokes. So I'm not necessarily the greatest at deciphering what is a threat and what is not a threat. My initial jump is to say, "Oh, they're coming at me, huh?" And then I go to war, and that's not fun. That's really not fun. So that's self-reflective, right? When someone comes in here and says RJ Barrett is better than Scotty Barnes, is really not a threat to me, and I need to stop treating it like one. So hopefully, as we go forward, we can turn the page, right? We can turn the page. We can get a little bit better. Okay. I'm not saying that once in a while I'm not going to tell someone to fuck the hell off. I'm always going to be that person. I'm damn near positive of it. But we can get a hell of a lot better at how much time we spend emotionally getting charged up about things like that. And hopefully, to the people who've watched me since the beginning, you are seeing me get better in real time. And I really hope that this is a sign to you that everybody can get better. I really do, because I'm a stubborn ass motherfucker. And if I'm willing to change, then I think you can change too. And there's always going to be room for feedback and listening to the people that you trust. Not everybody, don't listen to everybody, but once in a while, there's a few well wishers in this community I know that will message me and be like, "Hey, this thing you got to change it. Your video quality, it kind of sucks. I'm watching you on a 60-inch screen, and you look like you were filmed in 1962. You got to change this." Okay, so we fixed the camera. Y'all help with that. You got to fix the lighting. Okay, we got to help with that. Your hat is too low. I can't see your eyes. It's distracting. Your sound quality is this. So these things, right? These things are helpful. These are helpful notes. Hey, Rob, I hate when you get derailed by the chats and you just keep reacting to the chats. I've heard this comment many times. So look, we're trying to turn a leaf here. I am not going to abandon myself ever. If I think that it's the right thing to do, I'm always going to think it's the right thing to do, and I'm going to do the right thing. And until I learn that it's not the right thing. And then we grow and then we move. We're not contrived. We're not constructed or pre-constructed. We are not attempting to manufacture a reputation or manage or curate a reputation. We are trying to lead with character. As what I said about character versus reputation is something that I have said to my girlfriend, is something that I have said to my really good friend over the last couple of weeks, and something that I find myself saying to myself all day, every day for the last 3 days. Character, reputation, character, reputation, character, reputation. I keep saying it. over and over that you do not compromise your character to protect your reputation. I don't care about the reputation. I mean, I know that that's in itself arrogant, but the reality is I care about the character. And the character is growing and it's getting better and it's getting a little less sensitive to criticism. And hopefully you're seeing it. You're seeing it. And look, we alienated a lot of people. As we came up, we alienated a lot of people, but we are now dangerously close to 13,400 subscribers. So I believe that the subscriber growth is growing faster than it has in any point in this channel's history, other than maybe our first year. This is the fastest I've seen our channel subscribers grow. And I think it is because we're being positive, but don't, it's dangerous to be seduced by, oh, when I do positive stuff and when I'm complimentary of things, because that's not actually even true. Because I would argue that that entire video that I released before Masai Ujiri was let go was actually quite negative, right? I think that was quite negative. I mean, not negative, but real. It was a reality check. It was a reality check. Even after Masai was let go, I said Scotty Barnes has 1 year, and boom, it's time to put up or shut up. I think that was very real. So look, once again, time and time again, I feel like the truth rewards. And even if it doesn't reward itself in subscribers, it rewards itself in character. And that's very important to me. So we continue to get better. Hopefully, your viewing experience of this podcast will get better and better as we go forward. Hopefully, we can get fewer and fewer of those loud caller disruptions that we used to see 2, 3 years ago. Hopefully, we can have better times. And honestly, I think winning cures a lot of things. So, the Raptors haven't been very good the last 2 years. So, yeah, I feel like I'm getting better just as the Raptors are getting better. And I'm really looking forward to this season. So, please hit subscribe if you haven't already. And Mel saying Carter Bryant playing tonight. Yes, I can't wait to watch. All right, I'll talk to y'all later. Enjoy. Have a good one. Peace. Cass saying, hey, Rob, have you heard from Lane recently? No, I have not. But I do think about Lane occasionally when Bryce Sensabaugh cooks up because he was very, very high on him because he is from the Ohio State. Jonathan saying, yep, don't get captured by the audience. Let them come to you. Sure, yeah, I see that. Cass saying, I miss his lives, as in like the conversations we used to have, for sure. I'm sure he'll be back during the regular season. Yeah. And Cass is saying, call in. So, Lane, if you end up watching this afterwards, Cass is asking you to call in, even though this was not a call in show. All right. Talk to y'all later. Peace.